Hello, this is Carla Draffin, and this is another episode, if you would, of how to create folders and files, perform various actions with files and folders, and creating a compressed folder. This is for my CIT 105 classes that I teach, and so with further ado, we shall get started. First and foremost, I need to plug in my flash drive. And it's going to hopefully recognize it here in a moment and bring it up. In this case, it brought it up, excuse me, off camera, so to speak. And you can see that I can find it very quickly because I had renamed my flash drive to something that makes it easier for me to find when I'm looking through the folder view on this side. Of course, right now it's an empty folder. I believe that we need to create a couple of files. One of those would be the owner file, and I think that we did that in the previous demo, but just to kind of refresh that, we can go into Notepad. I'm just searching for it here, and we can create a file that has our first and last name, our school email address, and which classes you're taking this semester. I'll put O2, and because we're a hybrid class, I'll just use the M for Monday, and this class meets at 9:30. And then I'm going to put my name as the teacher, and you would normally put the rest of your classes here with your teachers' names. And again, at the end of a semester, you would come in here and just take off those classes and put in the classes you're taking for the spring and so forth. Again, this file is a way to identify the flash drive as yours. It gives us a chance to not have to look through different file folders and files that you have on the flash drive, trying to find out who it belongs to if you left it behind in the library, a lab, or a classroom. And by providing your teacher's name and your course schedule, oftentimes they will contact your teacher as well so that they can also remind you that your flash drive has been found, where it's located. In most cases, and I would say in all cases, you need to bring a photo ID so that they can make sure that you're the right person picking up that particular flash drive or whatever removable storage you'd left behind. And then we did a file, and I just go to Save As, and I want it to go to my PC, and I'm going to change that name to Owner. And again, we did this in a previous little video, excuse me. And then I can close this out, and you'll see Owner text is listed here. Now, this particular video is about creating our folders and files, and then performing actions like copy, move, rename, and delete, and also creating a compressed folder, because that's what you have to do on the exercise for the class. Now, I'm not doing the one in the assignment that's actually that you have to do. I'm just doing a demonstration like I did in the face-to-face classes. Now, we want to create a couple of files, and we want to go ahead and use Notepad for that, so I guess we shouldn't have closed it out, but let's just type Notepad again, or begin to type it, and it'll pop up. We need to create some files, so we're just going to type in our first and last name here. And we're going to have some files to play with for creating folders and putting the files into those folders and so on. So we're going to list 5 colors. You can list your own colors there. Once we have named those colors, we want to go to File, and we want to go to Save or Save As. It's an untitled one, so we could use the Save. Now, we want to make sure it's going to our flash drive. Because we created the owner text a while ago, it knows that that's where we were last with the text files that we were creating, so it automatically pulls that up. If it doesn't, navigate to your flash drive and put it in there. Now, the other thing that I have noticed here is that I wanted to create a folder before I started saving these files. So I can do that. Remember, that was one of your training sessions, I believe it was, in the first getting started with SAM and MindTap and so forth. So we're going to click on New Folder, and we're just going to type CIT 105. Normally I would have to put all the other information out there, but this is demo. And then I'm going to open up that folder because I want to put my file in there. I'm going to click where the file name is listed, and I'm going to just call it Colors with a capital C, and then save it. You will see that Colors text is the name of the file. If you were to move this out of the way, you'll see your CIT 105 folder. If you double click on it, you'll see Colors is inside that folder. Let's go back to Notepad and let's start a file new. Type your first and last name. Well, I've typed all day, I can't type my name. Enter twice. Let's list 5 of your favorite songs, and it could be whatever you're thinking about, because most of us have a lot of songs that we love to listen to. Oops. I try to think of those that younger generations might not have ever heard. So, once you have 5 of your favorite songs and whatever, we want to save this as music. So we're going to do a file. It's untitled, so we could use the save, or we could use the save as, either one. Is it going into the right folder? CIT 105? Yes. Is it on the right drive? Yes. So all I have to do is type in the name, and this would be music, and we would save it. Now we have done colors and music. Let's do some movies. Now we can do a file new, type your first and last name. I still am having trouble typing my name. And enter twice, and let's just list some movies that you've seen recently, and you can just list 3 or 4 of them if you want to. I love all the Lord of the Rings and the Star Wars and the Star Trek and the Alien Predator movies, and you know, there's just a wealth there of movies there for me. But I'm just going to type some just like I would ask you to. You kind of notice that I'm kind of got a theme going on here. They're all about getting into space, or Clara, it's supposed to be Clara, not Clara, is kind of a sci-fi movie. It's really interesting. Some of these are based on real facts, and of course some of these are fictional. So I've got my movies listed. I'm going to do a file, save as, and I'm going to name it. Notice it's going in the right place. I'm going to name it Movies. And I'm going to close this down because I no longer need Notepad. And next I want to go all the way over to the Start menu button in the lower left hand corner. It should bring up your Start menu, and I want to go to PowerPoint. So click on PowerPoint, and we are in PowerPoint for me to create this, but I'm going to create just something. Choose whatever theme you want. You can also choose whatever variation you might want. And then we're going to click to add the title, and we're just going to call it First Presentation. Now if you chose one that types it in all caps, go ahead and do the capital first letter and lowercase, even though it's going to be uppercase. If you decided to switch that font to a different font that's not all uppercase, you would be able to noticed that you had or had not held down the shift key when you were first doing it. First presentation, and then where it says click to add subtitle, in this case mine is above, normally it's below. Let's see. I'll just put the word presents out there. Ta-da. All right, now we are going to add another slide just so we have some bulk to our slideshow. So I'm going to choose the title and content. Now, I'm going to click to add a title. It's going to be animals. And then instead of adding text here, I want to add a picture file from the web. So I'm going to click on online pictures. It's going to, because Bing is the product that is used and is powered by, or is Microsoft's product, we can click on animals. If you want to go to birds or dogs or cats or whatever is out here, you can. I'm just going to go out here and very quickly grab a picture of an animal, maybe one I haven't grabbed before. Looks like it's just going to leave me with what I have here. You usually get a whole lot more than this. We will do the jaguar or leopard, one of the two. Insert it, and you can resize it. And in most cases, you may get this photo by unknown authors is licensed under, and at least it gives you the information for citation. Not all pictures, unfortunately, do that, but I do like it when it does that because these are not our pictures. These are pictures that were created by someone else. Somebody else was the photographer. So you always want to make sure that you cite the source as best as you can if you're going to use a picture. Now, if you were going to use this in a commercial production, like you were going to publish this in a book, publish it on a website, you would have to try to get more information about the author as much as possible to get their permission to use that in your document that you're creating and that you're going to publish or produce commercially. Now, we're not going to do anything else with this, so we're going to do a file save as. And from File Save As, we're going to browse. And we're going to locate our flash drive. And you can actually see our CIT 105 here since it's been expanded down on the left-hand side. We can go straight there. You don't see the files that you had before because those were all text files, but we're looking for PPTX for PowerPoint. So we're going to use the name that we typed in. It's on the title slide, so it's the name. We'll save it, and then we're going to close out this copy of PowerPoint. And here we are back to our cover page. Now, we want to click in the on the Start menu again, and you'll notice that they've got Paint 3D, and they may or may not have regular paint in here. So as I scroll through here, it looks like they've removed that. I didn't remove it, but we'll go to Paint 3D. It's no biggie. They like to create projects, so that's kind of the difference. Let's do a new one. I'm going to use the big fat marker on the side, and I'm just going to select some of these colors and just start drawing confetti. So just start making all kinds of confetti-like looking things. Run off the page because, you know, confetti doesn't stay on the page. And then we'll just kind of, you know, it's kind of a line draw kind of thing. And we'll just try to grab as many colors as we want to put in here. Not quite looking like confetti spinning around, does it? I like to use all the colors when I can. Nothing's showing up over there. We'll put some extra lines there. And we're just trying to make it look like confetti, throwing in the air. And you'll find you'll want to use all kinds of colors in here. Uh-oh, I clicked out of the box. Let's go back. There we go. And we'll get the light blue in here, and we'll jag some stuff around and try to do some little circles and whatnot. Get the darker blue, try to control it a little better. You kind of get the idea. You really just want to create confetti. Now I'm going to come back here and just throw in a little bit of pieces of the darker colors because they need to be represented, and I kind of like to sling them in there. It's not going to help me do much with white because white will just erase what I've got there. Now if you kind of covered up your first colors and you'd like to make some of those shine through now, you can go back over and add a few of those just so you can see them. Now we're done with our confetti. Okay. Now we're going to go to the menu here and we'll choose menu, and we want to save as. We want to save it as an image. And then we're going to navigate to our flash drive, into the folder for the flash drive. The name of this will be confetti. And then save it. Now when you try to close out this, 3D Paint also wants to save it as a project. I don't want to save a project. Okay, I just wanted the file, the image. Okay, now let's take a look at what we have currently now in our folders. We have colors, first presentation, movies, music, and confetti. Alright, I think that's probably good enough. We could add a Word document in here, I guess, but we'll just work with these. Now, we need to put some folders in here that we want to put and organize our files into. Now, you can go up here on the Quick Access toolbar, and there are other things you can add, but you can have the new folder up there and just click on it and create a new folder. We're going to call this one Class. And we're going to create another one, but we can go to the Home tab on the ribbon, and mine's still open. And I can do a new folder from there, and I'm going to call it Personal. Notice that I'm using proper capitalization. I expect you to do the same. Now, we have these files, and you'll notice our folders are at the bottom. If we were to reshuffle or sort, it would have the files in reverse order and the folders in reverse order at the bottom. And then if we click it again, normally in alphabetical order A to Z, the files come first in A to Z, and then the first folders come first. I don't think I said folders. Files then are alphabetized after that. So this just makes it easier for us to get to what we're looking for here. And I'm going to resize this a little bit because we're going to need to see a little bit more of this in a moment. Alright, we want to take first presentation and we want to put it in class. Most of you do a left click, drag and drop, so you can see it's going with me, and you can see the little screen tip that says move to class. So I'm going to let go of the mouse button, and it's going to move that into class. If you're new to doing the moving kind of thing and you don't know if you're moving or copying, I'm going to show you another way to do it to make sure you know which one you're doing. But I always go in and check inside to make sure that that file made it there. And then I can use here on my address bar, I can go back up to the CIT 105 folder. I want to put my confetti file also in class, but I'm going to do a right click, drag and drop. Right click, I point to class, I get the move to class screen tip, but when I let go I get a little dialog box. So if you're not sure whether you're moving or copying, if you right click, drag and drop something onto a folder, then you have the choice of copy here and you have the choice of move here. You can create a shortcut to that file, but you got to always make sure that that file is available from the storage device that you're using. If you dropped it on the wrong folder, just cancel it and start it again. We're going to do a copy here. So if you open up class, confetti is in there, but it is also still left at the CIT level of our flash drive. There's a method to the madness for that. Now, we want to take colors and movies and music and put them in personal. For right now, I'm going to select colors and I'm going to do a control click on movies. I'm just going to move those two. I wanted to do that to demonstrate non-adjacent files. Instead of moving them, I do want to copy them. So I could do a right click on either one of those, choose copy, right click on personal and choose paste. And if you open up personal, those two files are in there. If you go back, they're still out here. So I made copies of those. I also want music to be in personal. So I'm just going to do a different way to do this, and we'll see how it works. Copy to just never goes deep enough for me when I try to use that up here. But at any rate, I'm going to choose music. I'm going to choose the cut. No, I'm going to do copy, sorry. Copy. And then I'm going to open up personal, and I'm going to paste it, and there it is. Several ways to accomplish the task. I wanted these to be here because we needed something to delete and that kind of thing. If you decided that you didn't want to call it music, you wanted to call them songs out here, we're going to get rid of it so it doesn't matter. But you can right click on it and go down to the rename property, and then you'll see how it's highlighting just the name. You could type songs and then just hit enter. So you can change the name of a file and the name of a folder the same way. Now you may not see your TXT and your PNG. I have it turned on in my screen for my computer in the office, but usually you guys don't see that. The way you'll know what kind of file folder it is or document it is to look over here in the type. Okay, and that's perfectly fine. So we have, let's open up class. We got two files there, confetti and first presentation. Let's go up a level. Let's open up personal, and there should be three files there, and it is music, not songs. We'll go back up there. Now we want to get rid of these files. If you're working from a flash drive, it will not save them in the recycle bin. It's a removable device, and it does not save it from a removable device. So you click the first one, and let's say you do a shift click on the last one to get them all. If you click on the pull down list for delete from the home tab on there on the menu bar, recycle is grayed out, so you can't send these to the recycle. If you are, or recycle bin, excuse me, if you are using your OneDrive, they will go to the recycle bin by default. If you wanted them to be permanently deleted from OneDrive, you could choose this option. While you have them selected, you could choose this option, permanently delete. I'm just going to click the top half of that, and it says, are you sure you want to permanently delete these 4 items? I'm going to say yes. I want to clean up everything. So now my files are properly organized into my 2 folders. In order for me to complete the assignment that has been given to me, the OS assignment for CIT 105, I have to also create a compressed folder. Anywhere in the blank area here inside of your CIT 105 folder view, you can right click and point it new. And at the very bottom is compressed zip folder. Now my Macintosh people or Apple people, I'm not quite sure what program you have. I'm not sure I know you don't have Notepad for a text app, but I know you have a text app on a Mac. So you may have to do some investigating or just do this homework on a PC. The name is there, and I'm just going to call this example. You'll have an actual name for what you have to do. And I like the fact that I am showing you the .zip here, so you know it is a zipped folder. You'll also notice there's a zipper there. If I go to View and I change it to large icons, I'm just going to hover. You can see that it is a folder that's got a zipper on it, so it's a zipped or compressed folder. It doesn't have anything in it because we haven't put anything there yet. So what I want to do, and I am going to switch to large icons. I could click on this one and drag it over, and then I could click on this and drag it over with the left mouse click. But since they're right next to each other, I'm going to do a shift click to get them both. Use your left click, drag and drop, your normal way you like to do things. You're going to see that even though this is normally a move when you're doing it on the same drive, it's going to say copy. So let go of the mouse button to let it copy. You have your 2 original folders here. You go to your example and open it up. and there are your two folders. Now, I'm going to make this big enough so that you can see everything here, hopefully. Once you open up the class folder, you're going to see that it did some compression, but not on our confetti picture. Zero compression. Pictures, even a confetti picture like we drew. Sorry, I'm losing my headset there. They will not compress very well. Photographs don't compress well because there's not enough repeating patterns of ones and zeros that makes up that file. Ones and zeros is the only way a computer speaks and reads and understands programming instructions and how to process the data and how to give you the results. Of course, luckily for us, it gives us the results back in a human readable, viewable form. So if it can't find repeating patterns, then it can't compress. If you need to compress a very large file, a video file, use a video editing software to do the compression with it. A photo, do the same thing. If you have Photoshop or something like that, download it on your computer. It has compression ratio choices for you to make, so you can compress it down so it will fit. You know, you've tried to send an email that attached a beautiful picture, and you got the message back that it was undeliverable because the file that you attached was too big. This is a way, but sometimes you're going to have to use the software to help you shrink the file down. Now, my first presentation was $6.93. It's down to $6.59 for a 5% reduction. If I go back up to the example and I open up personal, you'll notice that colors shrunk 5%, movies 2%, and my music 13%. But they're all saying 1 kilobyte. That's the smallest amount that it can report to you from this particular view. So if you were to go to View and choose Content, for example, you can see colors is only 49 bytes. That's 49 characters. 78 for movies and 139 for music. So it was able to shrink that down because of repeating patterns of ones and zeros. Now, I will tell you, I have a document that shows you how to extract the files, so we'll take care of that at another time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to close out, because what you would do here, let me switch back to Details, and let me go to CIT 105. What you would do now, if this was your OS assignment, then you would have this ready, and you would go to Blackboard, and let me pull it over. So it's in the view. Let me get to course content, and I'll go to, like I'm going to put this, but we're not, assignments, operating systems, Windows 10. I would open up the assignment here, and then I would have to go down here to browse my computer for the file. I'm going to pretend I have the right one, even though we know I don't. I would take whatever that zip folder is supposed to be named. I think it's OS assignment. Maybe it has your initials or something in it, or name. And then you'll see that it's actually placed it in here. It's attached it for delivery, for uploading. The thing that I don't want you to do, bring this on up a little bit, is obviously this is the wrong file name, so don't attach it. You don't want to submit this unless you have the right zipped folder up there. You could also add additional files or folders by clicking on Browse My Computer and adding another one. Don't do that for this exercise. I want to see a zipped folder, please. I'm going to tell it not to attach this, and it's going to say OK. And again, if you come down here, the Save Draft, or Save As Draft, as it says over here, means that you could save your changes and you could come back to it. Now, I haven't tried this recently, but the last time I tried this, trying to find somebody's saved draft document, it took me a couple of hours because it wasn't intuitive from Blackboard where to go to find your saved draft. I think I had to go Google that to be able to actually find how to get to the saved draft, and I sent that to the student because they wanted to finish up something that they'd started. I recommend that you get your work done and you're ready to do it. Make sure you attach the right file. Don't submit it without a file, okay, or a folder in this case. And then you click the submit button. Now I'm going to click on cancel there because I don't really want to do that. And I'm going to minimize this down. So that ends this particular presentation. I hope that it helps those of you who are in online classes and those of you in hybrid classes that haven't been able to attend when we've covered this. Thank you. You have a wonderful afternoon playing with files and folders. And it's not letting me get out.